Hey guys, welcome back to DMAC Customs on the YouTube. Dave here in the garage, the Area 51, and flat, the old flat tyre that keeps on giving. It's going flat all the time. I need to get it sorted out. Last video kind of rejiggerized the steering, support bearing, doohickey and whatnot. This time around I haven't got a full weekend, so I've only got today to kind of get a little bit of something done. So I've got finally the last little holes to weld up on the body, and then we'll see where we go from there. So we've got to do some stuff and see how much time I've got. I've got to do a big clean up in here. So I want to, now the car's rolling and steering, I want to steer it out of the drive onto the driveway and have a good kind of cleanage in the garage. You know what I'm saying? So let's get at it. Alrighty, so don't look at that panel stands leaning up against the car. Don't do that. I've got to stop doing stuff like that now that there's kind of getting paint and stuff on here. But up here on the drip rails, at some point in this car's life, it's had the old sun visor peak on there. I left the holes originally because I thought I might try and track down a visor, but I haven't really tried. So I want to kind of start getting this ready to get it into epoxy primer so I can do the kind of final straighten out. So I'm going to weld up those holes, 3 on each side. Might try tigging them just so they're softer. And I've got one little kind of pitty area here that I've got to take care of, which I'll probably just drill that out and zap it up and hope for the best. After that, may look at hanging the doors because I want to check the gaps now that the body's all bolted down. You know, the old butterfly effect. I'm not sure whether having it all bolted down tight and stuff may have kind of pulled things out and around and stuff like that, but I want to make sure the door gaps work on those 3. Oh, this will come back and haunt me, guaranteed. And I'm not too worried about the front guards at this point. They haven't been messed with and stuff, if you know what I mean. Like where the door meets the guard should be all good. And adjustable, shimmerable and all that kind of crap. But yeah, it's these gaps. I know I've been through all this before, but now that the body's bolted down, I'm just a little concerned about that trickle down effect. There is a little bit of work I've got to do on one of the doors just to round a corner. It's a bit sharp down in the bottom corner. Not a big deal, because I replaced the bottom of the door and I probably did a little bit too much of a 90 degree where I need to just take a little bit off it. So I've got to remember to do that. Okay, so we'll put some air in this tyre just because that really bugs me, having it sitting all kind of catty wampus like that, as old Dee would say. She looks abandoned. Makes it look like I've done something wrong with the air ride, but I think it's alright. Just quickly kind of bolted that plate in there just so it's not kicking around. I just want it up and out of the way. So it's screwed in there actually. I might have to put some nuts and bolts all the way through so it's you know, kind of clamped up from the backside, rather than, because the booster, you know, you got that pushing force, even though it's going to be tied to the dash. Should be alright, but maybe, you know, we might have to put nuts and bolts all the way through. It's no big deal. It's screwed on there for now. What was I going to do next? I don't know. That's right, put some air in the tyres and then weld up some holes. Alright, start with a bit of whirly jig action and covered up my paint, obviously, like just keep stuff off it. Clean off any sort of surface rusty stuff off of here so I can hopefully effectively weld it. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but this is there's really not much to it, so it's pretty thin, so I'll have to be pretty careful. I'll try it with the TIG. If it starts getting a bit like blowy throughy and stuff like that, then I might just switch to the MIG and do some little cold tacks to just kind of close up those holes, and then I can flush them back out. This needs a bit of hammering up here. Whatever visor's been on here is kind of like bent it a little bit, so I'll hopefully take care of that if I remember. I'll probably do that after I've painted it. That first one, I had too much heat in it and I just kind of made a big boogery mess, and then kind of chopped the top out of it. So then I was just trying to build up that top part again, and now I'll grind it back again, kind of. So that's that side done. I switched to the old like engineer's file type thing just because it's kind of flat. What I was noticing when I was just doing it with the roll lock, I could still feel like a high spot. I kept kind of like catching the other stuff, so I kind of like blocking. I just went to a file just to kind of flatten it off. It's not perfect, but high build primers and epoxy primers and all that kind of crap will take care of the rest of it, hopefully. And driver quality. Half time change size. Alrighty, so that's those three welded up. The drip rail was a bit more kind of like squished, like it's hard to describe, but like the screws had been done up so tight it had kind of taken the curve out of the rail sort of thing, and I couldn't really figure out how to kind of hammer it back. So it's a little bit flatter there, but she'll be right once it's got a, like I said, epoxy and all that kind of crap. But that's a factory join there, and there's lead under there, but so I'll leave well enough alone. But yeah, it's kind of a pretty manky joint. I'm wondering whether I'll kind of try and, how much does the rubber overlap that and cover that up a bit, eh? So I'll leave it alone, I think. Next up, I've got to take care of that little scody looking sucker down there. Washing machine. Right, anyway, give this a bit of a whirly jig and alrighty, so that's those holes welded up. This one here is pretty thin and it just kept blowing out, so I was chasing it around. You can see it, someone's had a compressor. Okay, where were we? You can see it, someone's had a wee sort of tiggity-tig or MIG or something in that hole before, like it's probably, I don't know, been pretty thin and it's opened up or whatever. So it was a bit elongated or whatever, there was a kind of a messy edge, so I just put a little blob in there as well. So I just got to kind of give that a grind back, see if I can kind of take it back flushish. The trim is still going over here, so it doesn't have to be like super mint, it just needs to be tidy-ish, but try and do it to a highish stand. I say that and then you look at the rest of it, all patched together like Frankenstein, but this is all, might get a bit more of a dress up. I'm kind of always a bit wary about trying to get them too flush, if you know what I mean. Like, it should be alright, but I'm going to leave a little bit of overlap of the welds just to, I don't know, then I kind of do try to get them as flush as I can, but I don't know what I'm talking about. But anywho, it's got a little bit of a bulge there or a dip there, one of the two, but might need a little bit of hammer action in there. I'd love to have one of those power hammers like the bloke from Japan's Make It Custom. I can't remember his name at the moment. I don't know why. He makes them and sells them. He's another dude from Canada. Does really kind of highly finished metalworking and fabrication and stuff. So hot rod builder dude, does an awesome job. Learned a little bit watching his videos, probably more than you'll learn watching mine, but you might learn something, maybe not how not to do it. But anyway, I'm procrastinating. I need to get in here and grind this stuff. Alrighty, so think that's... Is that a high spot? I might have to get a straight edge or something, and yeah, I think it is a little bit high still there. But that one come up alright. See all this pitting though, I have to make sure I kind of clean all that out real good before I put any epoxy down, but treat it or something. Yeah, there's still a little, ever so slight high spot there. Let's have a look, what have we got on hand? It's not really ideal. An actual ruler might be better, even though this is not a straight panel, it's a curved panel, but kind of gives me an idea. Might take that down just a scotch more, just to make sure it doesn't become a high spot when sanding primer and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? While I'm over here, I might actually see if I can knock this up, because when this was done like 3 years or so ago, I didn't have that, which I will be able to get down behind the bracing and stuff to kind of push back on it and maybe sort of slap or hammer this. There's a low spot right here and a high spot kind of here. So I want to see if I can kind of planish that out just a bit more. It's not bad. I mean, you could skim it and fill it up with all the poo, mud, or whatever you want to call it, like a lot of this is going to be anyway. But you know, that's a little bit proud. I have to check the other side and see what that's doing, because there was some, these gouges here, these are something to do with a factory joint, I think, from memory. I think there's a lead joint that got cut out during the chop. So these kind of weird light lines that are running through on that angle there, or what kind of some residual from that, but we'll have a crack at it and see what I can do. Right, so a little bit of more planishing on that. It's actually kind of taken that high spot down and brought a couple of low spots up, even though it probably doesn't look like it at all on the old camera. Using this body spoon or paddle or slapper, these things that my mate gave me. Had another little crack on the other side too. Got that a little bit better. That side in some respects was a little bit better, not quite as, you know, like all over the place. That was probably the toughest part of this chop, on the roof part of it, in the respect that I couldn't really get to it because of the inner frames sort of thing, to be able to kind of like hammer it up, even get it to square up with the means that I had during the 2020 lockdown to, you know, rushed ahead as you do, with what I had, what I'm saying, it's what I had. And so, but it's all right. It'll smooth out with a bit of body filler and stuff like that. So don't you fret yourselves. So that's those holes welded up. I've got to actually, before I forget, I need to squirt a little bit of primer on the back. Looks like I'll get to it from the inside there, just to seal them up from the inside. Just a little bit of black etch, and I'll squirt something else in there as well, just to seal that up later on. Know what I'm saying? So I'll do that before I forget. Okay, so that's in there, up in there. It's actually grey etch, not black etch, but they do a black version, so I just keep calling it black etch for my own thing. It's the same product, just less black pigment in it, whatever. Alright, what next? I really need to get all this out here while it's fine and give the old workshop a good clean, but trying to get a video together for you fellas to do my weekly video. This might be it, but I might Actually, I'll hang these doors next, I reckon. Alright, so drag the doors out. This is one area there where I did replace that whole kind of bottom lower skin, as you can tell. Now where it joins here, it actually kind of has a little bit of a dip in sort of thing, and it's noticeable against the guard, so that's why I've drawn these lines on here. So I'm gonna give that a bit of a clean up, build it up with a little bit of weld, hopefully not blow it to bits, and kind of file it back. See what I'm saying? Let's get at it. Right, so that's that edge built up. Hopefully the camera was pointing in the right direction. I really don't know half the time. So I'm going to flush down the front side of it first, and then try and get that straight edge, hopefully first time round. Yeah. It's been a while since I did this, so I can't remember how you go about it. bloke over the road doing some weed eating or whipper snipping, as some folk like to call it. Anyway, doors on, kind of gapped up. Not too bad. This one's sitting kind of a little bit out at the top there. It could be, you know, once you get the latch and that in, it'll pull it in tighter maybe, or a little bit more adjustment in there somewhere, I don't know. But the sort of side gaps and that all right. Down the bottom's not too bad. I did have to do a little bit of clearancing down there. The other door, not too bad. This one here, both these doors always fit completely different to each other. We're pretty good across the bottom, but we were a bit tight down there, so I did a bit of sort of hammer clearancing, just sort of like hammering up against there. I've got a video of kind of how I've done it before. Did it up here, I think, in one of the other videos. The gap up here is a bit open. I think it was kind of always like that, if you know what I mean. Like when I did that, I probably kind of should have made that a bit tighter, but it's alright because I've got a plan. So yeah, I haven't put the door stays on because I've got a couple of little parcels here that I'll show yous, you know, like this one here. This is one of my subscribers to the channel, Rob. He heard my call out asking where to find a door switch from, and he had a parts car here in New Zealand, so he packed one up and sent it off to me. Like, much appreciated, Rob. That's awesome. So I'll put that. I've got to figure out where I'll put the other one now. I think it's in with the electrical stuff, maybe. And this is the stuff I got from Chevs of the 40s. Now this is that little horn contacts that I was talking about that I couldn't find in a video or two back when I was putting the steering wheel and stuff back together. So I bought one of those. They were really quite cheap. I can't remember how much they were. But as I sort of explained about the shipping, that's a bit of a killer. So that's why I bought some other stuff. Horn button. It was only $6.75. Like, but yeah. Shipping, I had to get it shipped through U-Shop, which is a New Zealand Post thing. So I got some glove box little bumpers. And these are these door bumpers that go down there. It's those ones there. So because these are the ones that are real hard, they're like hard plastic now. So and these are new rubber ones, and a couple of these door stay things. What are they called? Door check link. And they're spring steel. Like, I tried making one out of mild steel, but it didn't really work for obvious reasons. It's mild steel. So I'm going to bolt these on just so I don't overextend the doors while I'm sort of playing around with them at this point. And yeah, might do that. Am I going to be able to do it with this? I don't think I'm going to be able to. Yeah, we'll do that. I'll take these stickers and that off later on and paint them when I take the doors back off to prep, but that just goes through there, bolts onto that doohickey there. Should have washers and stuff on here, but again, this is just a temporary placement until we do the final assembly after all this is painted, you know what I'm saying? Just like that. So that's just like a little spring, and it hooks into, there's a little roller inside here. You might be able to see in there, hopefully. I can't see, but yeah, there's a little roller on a pin in there. And this side here, before I got the car, sometime in its life, something had come unglued or stuck, and this piece here was all bashed in and bent in, and then you saw the repair if you're following the channel up in here. And yeah, so it was pretty munted. It's obviously had kind of come undone and kind of made a mess of that door jamb, the inner door and the actual jamb. So we've got a couple of new springy steel things there, so that stops it going all the way out and hitting the post, you know. Okay guys, well, not a particularly riveting video this week, but that's where we're going to leave it on the old Area 51 project. As I said, short sort of shot at getting anything done this week, because I've only had today, and I really need to get this garage tidied up. You don't really want to watch that. And so yeah, but got a couple of little jobs done that kind of keeps us moving ahead. Next up, I think, like, I'm pretty kind of happy with how the doors are sitting. Again, like, neither of them kind of fit the same way, but one door is from maybe a 49 or a 50 or something, or 52, and one is, I think, the original 50 door, because they got, if you look, see that one there, the inside, and then that one there's like that. So I've got a funny feeling one of them has been replaced. I'm not sure. Someone did mention in the comments once that they had a 50 and theirs was like one of mine. I can't remember which way around it went. So so yeah, that's, yeah, different doors. So we'll make do with what I got. The doors themselves are in reasonable condition. I did find a bit of lead in the bottom of one of the doors, so had some lead repairs, like old school, could be factory, who knows, but that's all right. And yeah, so what are we going to do now? So that's it for this video. Heaps of new subscribers have come on in the last sort of couple of weeks. The painting the dash video kind of, I won't say it went viral, but for my little channel it went viral, which was at this point in time, it's about 2 weeks in. It's on about 1,200 views or something like that, and 18 new subscribers. So thanks guys for coming on board and kind of watching this progress on the old 51 Chevrolet. And yeah, tell your friends, get them to come on board and have a watch as well. Build this little channel up into something that hopefully pay for some petrol one day. And it sounds like you're kind of like just money grabbing, when you're trying to grow your channel, but you know, it's sort of kind of are. It would be quite good to get a little bit of revenue out of the channel to help maybe pay for some parts or some paint or something like that, but that's a long way off. That's only I don't have to put that much effort into trying to grow it, to be honest. I need you guys to take care of that and share it out, tell your friends, family, all that kind of stuff. I guess next up we might start looking at stripping the body. Probably not the bolt-ons, you know, the hood, doors, guards and that at this stage, but I'm kind of keen to get the body ripped back to bare steel again properly and get it into epoxy primer and get it sealed up finally for the last time. Hopefully that'll be the next on the agenda, you know what I'm saying? But for now I've got to get into this and get this garage cleaned up. So as always, thanks for watching. Till next time, take it easy. Peace.